Hi everyone, Adrian here, and in this video we're going to be looking at toxic productivity and what it means and how it impacts writers. So you may have come across this phrase, toxic productivity, and it's kind of doing the rounds in productivity circles at the moment, and I wanted to take a video to really kind of explain it, because it's something that writers, including myself, are a little bit prone to fall into. So if we think of how we measure whether we're being a good writer or not, there are very few metrics. This is one of the most difficult things about being a writer, is that you go away, you write something, you send it off to somebody, and they have a subjective view on it. The problem is with that is that, you know, you could send something to one person, they love it, you send it to another person, they hate it. And so as a writer, you're always left wondering, am I doing it right? Now, we want to be able to measure our productivity as a writer. I think that's really important, because with that we can do more stuff. We have so many ideas in our head that we want to get out, and the problem is that if you're writing a novel, it's going to take you months, maybe years, to get that done, polished and off. And then even if it's great and you get picked up by an agent, it's then going to be, you know, probably more revisions. Then it's going to be a year going through the traditional publishing sort of a cycle. So, you know, writing a novel is not a small task, and at any stage along that path, that years long path, something could come along and you just go, actually I need to scrap that project. So the currency that we use as writers is words, and I'm going to say this right now, I think it's really, really helpful to track your words and get an idea of how many words you tend to write in your standard writing session, how long they tend to last, what your writing speed tends to be, whether it be writing different types of fiction, non-fiction. You know, having that data is handy, because it gives you sort of an idea to make realistic plans for your time. One of the things I'm trying to do myself as a writer is gather that data so that I can accurately predict how long a project is going to take me. The problem I have at the moment is I never know how many words anything is going to be. I know how long the words will take me if I knew how many words it was, but having that data is handy, and it allows us to kind of, interesting things I've noticed, I am more productive if I have 3 hours to write one evening, I get more work done if I write for an hour, take a break, play games, do something else, watch Netflix, something, and then write for another hour, than if I write for 3 hours straight, because my words per hour drops down. So it's handy. But the problem is we can get a little bit obsessed with this. So I had yesterday here in the UK, it was really, really hot, and I get hay fever, I get sluggish, and you know what? The words weren't just coming out. I got progress done on all the major projects, but honestly, I was sitting there thinking, God, I don't want to be doing this today. I just want to do nothing today. I wilt in the heat. So I was having a sort of struggle day, and I managed to push through, and I got 3,000 words done, which is good. And you know, considering I've also got videos to produce and things like that. So, but the day before I got 5,000 words done. I had one of those rare, super productive days where everything came in line and everything got done. And the danger is that, you know, whether it's 5,000 or 500, it doesn't matter. If you have a super productive day, there is a temptation the next day to think, well, I need to do 500 again today. And think of it a bit like exercising, right? if you can lift 100 kilos, say, right? You go to the gym, you lift 100 kilos, that's great. But if you're not feeling it the next day, trying to lift 100 kilos when you've got like a bit of a bad back, you know, you may injure yourself. So you've got to understand that with a writing, like, our word count goes in ebbs and flows, because, you know, we keep saying this and we need to realise this. You know, all your planning, editing, that's all part of writing, but it's not going to be generating words. So what we want to do is have those metrics so that they become interesting, but we don't live and die by them. And that's something that can be a little bit difficult as a writer to do. So toxic productivity is when you literally get yourself into a thing where you go, I have to do 5,001 words today because I need to improve on what I did yesterday. Instead of kind of looking at it more as a marathon and just going, right, I got 5,000 words done today, I got 3,000 done, I get 3,000 words done tomorrow. The following day, maybe I get 4,000, maybe I get 2,000. It doesn't matter. I'm still building my overall I'm still progressing those projects. So how can we combat this? Well, I think first of all you've got to see that whilst we're tracking this data, the number of words isn't everything. I think you just have to, you have to look at all words as progress. And we know we say this, but we really have to think this. We have to kind of have those check-ins with ourselves that go, you know what, okay, it's great, we want to get loads of words done and we want to get to the end of this project. But we need to think about quality. Am I pushing myself so hard that the quality is dropping? Am I pushing myself so that hard that I'm going to burn out? This week I have got an incredibly busy week. I've got so much to do. I know it. I know it's going to be a grind. It's currently Thursday of the week, and I tell you, I can't wait for Friday to be over, because it's just one of those weeks. But that's fine, because I've kind of allowed myself to have a weekend off, and I've reduced my workload for the following weekend, despite still being busy. So I think we have to do that. The other thing you can do is, because as writers, it's like this morning, right? Morning, literally, did some washing, went to hang it up, and immediately came up with this really great idea. Different kind of genre from what I normally write, something a bit different. I think, God, that would be a really cool idea, like a standalone book. Right? That standalone book is going to take me, it's going to take me 80, is it 80 hours? No, probably more than that. It's probably going to take me a good 100, 200 hours to write a first draft. Well, is that idea worth that amount of time? Would that idea be better especially as it's not like what I write, my core writing? Would that be something better to practice script writing with, or do a short story with? Think about other mediums. Now, some of those might take as long, or even longer, those mediums. A script may take you forever to write, but you're learning while you're doing it, so it becomes less about the words and more about the learning. So basically, I think that's what I really want to get across, is that as you go along on your productivity journey, trying to be more I always try and say, instead of being more productive, more efficient as a writer, right? Because we have to realise that things go in ebbs and flows. I think you have to accept that some days is not as good as others. Some days you may not write. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I have days where I don't write. But you may be, while you're doing the washing up, you may be thinking of the next scene or thing. So you're still doing work, and even if you're not, it doesn't matter. I think, if you are if you work in a shop, right? if you're feeling you know, just mentally a bit run down, you may or may not, depending on the seriousness, but you can do the physical. It's easier to do the physical tasks, whereas our job is a lot more thinking. So mental well-being, I think we need to look at that a lot more as writers. You know, we've spent the last 18 months pretty much in solitude. That's done weird things to us. Some people have struggled to write with the stress of the pandemic behind, and so we need to put our mental health first. But that doesn't mean, you know, having a crisis and then dealing with it, which is good, and that's what we want to do. But it also means kind of not understanding when we're approaching burnout and getting obsessed with the wrong things. Getting so obsessed that with the number of words that we produce, that the quality drops, our mental health drops, everything drops. So think of it as driving a car. You're driving a car, you can't drive that car 100 miles an hour forever. You have to stop and refuel. You have to do maintenance to it. You know, you have to change the tyres. You know, even if you think of like a Formula One race, they still have pit stops. So consider that with your own writing as you go along and try and make yourself more efficient. So I hope this has been useful. Let me know in the comments below, like, any kind of tips that you've picked up to kind of make sure that you're just not pushing yourself a little bit too hard. How you kind of balance that need for being more efficient to try and get all this work done with just not ending up a mess on the floor, like, you know, like I sometimes do. Let us know in the comments. Let us know your advice. Have you ever found yourself slipping into toxic productivity? And if you did, how did you deal with it? What were the consequences? I'd be really genuinely, personally interested to know. So thanks everyone. I'll see you again soon for another video. Take care. Bye.